Hello, you're listening to the Mets in the UK podcast. Remember us? We've not been ignoring you. Life's kind of got in the way of all of us as a collective. It's kind of been kicking our ass already this year. We've had people on the IL, we've had people with personal stuff going on. I'm still doing my uni stuff. It's all over the place at the moment. Even our night out tour, she's been on her travels. She's been going to New York. She's been doing stuff with work. It's been out like jet setting all around the world. So we apologize for the lack of podcasts. We're going to try and right that wrong and do these on a bit more of a regular basis. Obviously, this is the Mets in the UK podcast. You can find us on all the socials, Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. Hashtag MIT UK to get involved. You know the drill by now. Let's go. So, I start off there by saying about Tor. You went to the States. You caught opening weekend.
I did. You know, when hope reigned supreme and everyone was happy despite it being freezing cold. Although it was actually typical New York, right? It was warm on opening day and then bitterly cold Saturday and Sunday. But it was, it was very positive. Of course, it was wonderful to be there. I've said it before and I say it on my tweets. I never for a moment take it for granted. And every single time I walk down those steps outside of the train station and never fails to get me. It gives me all the feels. And it was a good start, especially the opener on the Thursday. It was a great game. It was a solid performance. Everyone was really happy. I think Saturday and Sunday were perhaps a little more ominous. They both went to extra innings. So we perhaps should have known then that life wasn't going to be plain sailing. However, I did mention like the conditions were like really, really tough those 2 days. But, we took the series. We took 2 out of 3, got off to a good start. Of course, it was great to be with everyone, to see everyone. We're always really well accommodated when we're there. It's great to get people wanting to come and see us and wanting to come and talk to us about our views of baseball and how it is to be a fan 3,500 miles away and on a completely different time zone. I don't think that novelty will ever quite wear off for some people. For us, it's just normal. It's just what we do. And so we know that it's still fairly niche here, but there's a growing number of us and we're so used to doing it and so used to being able to talk about it and it just being normal, a part of our day. But when we go there, it's still quite novel to a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
But I love having the time there. I love seeing the boys in person, seeing the ballpark, seeing the field, hearing the crack of the bat. Oh, take me back. I need to be back there now, even now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing quite like Citi Field in person versus on a big screen. But not just the big screen either, radio as well. Mets in the UK getting a shout out. Tell us about that.
That's right. I mean, I am very fortunate. When I go, I am welcomed into the booth, into the radio booth. I don't think I need to dwell too much on my feelings for our Howie. I think everybody knows by now. But to get to go and spend time with, Howie and with Madge. And, Madge, I've probably said before, the things that Madge does in that booth, I have no idea how he manages to do it all. I mean, obviously he's been doing it for a long time, but it just blows my mind. I see it quite a lot now. I'm very fortunate. And it still never fails to amaze me. He just seamlessly runs the show. But it's always wonderful to see Howie and young Keith and Madge and young, tall Pat and go and spend some time with them. But each time I go, I do try and take them something from here. And this time, I did them some scones. And I was trying to explain that they ought to have them with clotted cream and jam.
Of course.
Yeah. And I was like, at very least, you have to have them with butter because you cannot have them dry. Anyway, they Howie, I passed them during one of the breaks in play, and Howie decided to start chatting about them there and then, and they were, very happy to chat about Mets in the UK. And Keith was talking about how he's joined us on the podcast. In fact, Keith's joined us twice, so you can catch those. And and they were saying how how it's good to kind of get our point of view, because Keith actually, in fact, both of them, when they've been on, have both kind of turned the tables a little and asked us a couple of questions about our fandom and stuff. I guess it's the journalistic instinct in the broadcasters, so it was just lovely. I again, it's another part of being over there that I don't take for granted, and I need my Howie hugs, especially this year. I need as many as I can get to keep him going when he's not there. It's going to be strange next year.
It is, yeah, definitely end of an era, but
it's lovely that they support us, and they're they're aware of us and they appreciate what we do.
Yeah, absolutely, that's very kind of them, and definitely appreciate the shout out for sure. On the topic of scones, I just want to know in the comments, let us know what comes first. Does the cream come first, or does the jam come first? Where do you sit on that fence? I know it's controversial, but I want to know what do people think on that one. Let us know.
And is it scones or the other word?
Scone. Well, if it's on my plate, it's scone. So it doesn't stick around for very long. Anyway, food aside, let's talk baseball. That's the whole reason we're here. The Mets kind of got off to a good start. The Pirates series was positive. Giants series, on the whole, largely positive as well. So the Mets picked up quite a few wins early on. Had this injury to Soto amongst a few others that have sort of picked up niggly sort of bits and pieces here and there. And then we've got our current woes, and I'm not going to dwell on this too much because I feel like a lot's already been said by a lot of different people, and there's nothing really much that we can add to the discourse that's going on at the moment. Obviously, you watch a lot of the games. What's your take being on the season so far?
All of the games, all of the time. I kind of had my say. I mean, we were 7-4 to begin with, and then we all know what happened since then. We all know that it's been brutal. We all know that it's been painful. We all know that it's been disappointing. But after the game the other night, I kind of took a moment. I didn't even come in the group, I don't think, because at one point I was thinking they've broken me. I mean, everyone knows me to be the positive and optimistic one. At the moment, it's easier to be optimistic than it is positive. And I was just thinking, have they finally broken me? But that was the gut reaction. So I took a moment and I was thinking about it, and we are not a team of bad players. So that's the first thing, right? These are good players. And I maintain that I am 100% behind the plan. I can see what David Stearns has tried to construct. I can see what the plan is, where they're trying to go with it. It's my kind of baseball. I kind of like it. The problem is that those players that are on the field and are meant to carry out that plan are not performing, which makes them a bad team, which is different to being a team of bad players. Right. Yep. I think I said this to you before. I'd almost prefer it, I think, if it was like in the good old days where we just had a ragtag group of players that were thrown together, and you could just root for them and just hope that they did their best, and we'd get the odd win and wouldn't embarrass ourselves too much, and you could just kind of take it as it was, and there were no expectations. We're not there now, and this is part of the problem, right? There are deservedly massive expectations on this organization, and there should be, of course. We can carry one or two players in a slump. Every team has to go through that. It happens. We've all been there. We've all seen it. It happens frequently. What we can't have is all of the players being on a slump. And you've mentioned the injuries. We've had Polanco that's not been right at all and is now on the IL, which was not a surprise. We've had Soto, obviously a massive blow. We've had Jared Young, who came in and then was doing great, and then he's gotten injured. There is definitely something going on with David Peterson, and it is not just that I jinxed him when Joe and I did a preview. I hope it's not that I jinxed him, because I was really expecting him to do well this year, and he's struggled. We have inconsistent Senga. We're either getting great Senga, which is what we need, or we're getting awful watch from behind your pillow Senga. So, and even Lindor. Now, we're all used to Lindor being cold with his bat to start the year. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. Yeah. It happens. We expect it. Fine. But actually, he's been off it a little bit defensively as well, which is unusual. And they are not doing what is expected of them. The other argument that we see a lot is shouldn't have gotten rid of the core. And I know you're going to have an opinion on this as well, right? For me, that makes no difference to this situation. It makes no difference. We've been there, tried that. And firing Mendoza isn't going to fix it either. No. I actually feel like, given the way that the players and the organization talk about him, I think it would be more disruptive. I understand that. So we need to feel like someone is accountable. Do you know who's accountable? The players that go out on the field.
Yep.
They are the ones that should be accountable. There is only so much that Mendoza and the coaches can do. There is an argument to say perhaps some of the coaching could be different. Maybe there's a bit of a shake-up to happen there if someone really wants to feel like they're making a change. But I don't believe that it should be Mendoza. Yes, ultimately he's, on the chopping block, but I think that potentially it would be more disruptive to lose him. I think that we've had some, as Steve Cohen put it, some green shoots, and we have. There's been some really good pitching. There's been some good offense. There've been some lovely defensive plays. What we've not had are games where all of those have come together at the same time.
Yep.
That's what we're lacking. And I don't believe that it's because we've got players playing new positions either. They are elite sports people who have been around the game for many, many years and have baseball intelligence. They can adapt. And you can see Bichette is getting more and more comfortable at third base. There's a bit of a merry-go-round at first. I'm actually quite happy with Vientos there, to be honest.
Okay.
And so I don't think that helps, but I don't think it's to blame. I think ordinarily, again, you can kind of give them the luxury of that time to settle in and learn those positions. But because everyone is going through it, I think that's just magnified. So yes, it's a mess. Yes, it's really, really tough. Yes, it's almost even broken me. But I don't have the answers aside from baseball players who are elite athletes who get paid millions of dollars to go and stand on a field and do their job, should go do their job. And again, is it I couldn't do their job. That's the other thing. Like, you know, everyone's sitting behind their keyboard and like us in cameras criticizing them. I couldn't do their job. So, you know, I think it's difficult. I think that we've seen bits and pieces sporadically. Which for me is just enough to keep me there. I mean, you know me, I'm there no matter what, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you've raised some really interesting points. I think, you know, it's definitely been one of those where the bats have been good, the pitching's been off, the pitching's been good, the bats have been off. I agree 100%. These are not bad players. They are very good players. I do think that they're just not playing as a team. But then going back to your comment about the core, I think it was right to get rid of the core. There was enough seasons of that core where it didn't work out, where you've got enough of a sample size, you can go, do you know what? This is not working. We need to try something else. And fully support the decision to do that. That makes perfect sense. But you can't expect a new group of players to come in and instantly play like those players that have had multiple seasons playing together and are used to that particular style of play. I do find it interesting, though, to note that Pete's gone to Baltimore, but he's not exactly tearing it up over there. No. He's struggling. I think you're right with the fans and the keyboard thing. You know, the team's frustrating. Like, I'm frustrated watching them. The few UK friendly games we've had, I've not been able to watch a full game because it's frustrating to watch them play that badly. I'm not sat here wishing for days gone by before Cohen took over. I'm not wanting it to go back to that. But I can't help but feel like Cohen taking over this team has kind of ruined sections of the fan base. And I say sections because there are a lot of good Mets fans out there that don't subscribe to this. But unfortunately, they're not the ones that are loud, vocal keyboard warriors. I've seen some horrendously wild takes on social media about this team. People saying, like, you're right, Mendoza needs to go. People saying that we should have traded Lindor, that Soto should walk away whilst he still can. And I just look at people just like the level of entitlement from some of these so-called fans. For me, that's the worst bit about being a Mets fan, is having to put up with those fans. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all of them. There are a lot of great Mets fans, and we both know several of them, but like, it's the minority that ruin it for the majority. And it just, I feel like that's the thing that just drains it out of us. And it doesn't help around the team. Like, I put it in the group chat after the first couple of games. I had no idea why the fans were booing Bichette. Like, the guy has just moved. They need time to settle. They need time to adjust. It's a new hitting coach. It's a new pitching coach. They've changed pretty much everything they possibly could, other than Mendoza. And I think when you look at the amount of money that Steve Cohen's invested in this team, off the pitch as well as on the pitch, like, there's huge amounts that have gone into data analysis, training, facilities. It's not just about, oh, we've got the second highest payroll in baseball. There's more going on behind the scenes. And I'm sorry, but like, even me and you, like, we're not here with the answers because the people that are paid to do it at the Mets haven't got the answers. Otherwise, we'd be winning games. Like, you've got professional data analysts struggling to get this team to win. What hope have we got? We're just commenting on like what's happening with the team. So like, I find that that's my level of frustration, is that people are just expecting instant results overnight because there's money being put into the team. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. It's not the way the sport operates. And I think, you know, we've got 140 games left. I'm not by any means saying we're going to go on and win all 140. I'm optimistic about the back end of the season, post All-Star break. I think it's going to take that long for this team to start to gel and group together, for some of the players to iron out some of the issues that they're having. I don't think it's going to be a complete flop write-off season. Let's blow it up and sell the team. I don't think we're going to see that. But like, just a sense of reality. Like, give these guys a break. I'm not trying to make excuses for them. They've been bad. It's been awful to watch. Let's not beat around the bush. But like you said, they're professionals. That they are the best of the best to still be in MLB. You know, you've got players like Jesse Winker, who at 32 still doesn't have a team.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy in itself. I'm not saying we should go and get Jesse Winker, but like,
I am.
You know, if you've got players of his quality without a team, the ones that have got a team clearly must be good at baseball. Like, do you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. These are not bad players. We're just not playing as a team yet. But I agree with you. I think the new style is better than what we had before. There's been positives, like Nolan McLean, like loving watching him pitch. That's been fantastic. Benja's impressed me. He's not perfect, I know, but he's a kid. It's his first season up. Like, he's impressed me for where he is in his career and his journey. Like Semyon, solidly defensive wise. Like, props to him there. You know, I think it will get there, but sitting behind the keyboard and saying, oh, where's Jeff McNeil? Where's Brandon Nimmo? No, like, they had their chance. They had the moment. It's gone. We move on. Like, you can't keep churning out the same thing year after year and expecting to go and win a World Series, because it just doesn't work like that. That went on way longer and way more ranty than I was expecting it to. But I think it's just, it is that frustration is probably the, like, I just feel so frustrated.
It is it's really, really frustrating. And don't get me wrong, there have been some, you know, some valid points raised, and people aren't gonna agree with us. It's an opinion. That's why we love sport. People are gonna have their opinions. People are gonna agree with some of what we say. They're gonna disagree with some of what we say. I know, you know, there was a point raised. I was saying that, you know, they're not a team of bad players, and someone said, yes, but actually hitting is an individual sport. And it is. But actually, it you know, you are standing at the plate on your own, facing a pitcher to hit a ball. However, you are still part of a machine, and you are still thinking about who is ahead or behind you when you go to the plate. So yes, it's an individual sport, but actually you're always going to the plate thinking, what is the best move for the team at this point? Because it could, am I laying a bunt to try and move someone along? Am I just trying to whack it as far as I can so I at least get a sac fly? Am I just trying to get myself on base because I know I've got Lindor behind me because he's gone down to third, which actually I don't mind. You know, so yes, the act of hitting is a solo event, but it's, you're doing it in a team environment. So, you know, and there was another point raised about people not being able to settle and learn each other's games because of all the movements. That is a very valid point. Sometimes that's been dodgy, and I'm not going to sit here and say that Mendoza's perfect. He has made some very questionable decisions. Some of it has been strange, odd decision making. Some of it has been injury and availability. So I that's valid, but it kind of almost also more emphasizes the fact that they have not had the opportunity to settle, and therefore we're not yet seeing the best of them. So, you know, there are lots of ways to look at it. I choose to, I mean, don't mistake optimism for positivity. At the moment, I generally prefer to be both. At the moment, I am definitely more optimistic than I am positive. And I completely agree with the sense of accountability. But like I said, my feeling is that accountability lies with the players. They've got to go and do it.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point with the hitting. Like, I think let's not pretend as well that the Mets struggling to score with runners in scoring position is a new thing, a new problem to this year, because it's really not.
It's not. It is absolutely not.
That's deep-rooted issue within this team. So, yeah, you're right. I think there is a degree of you've got to take it as an individual thing, but yeah, you're right. You've also got to play it smart of, oh, I've got a guy on second and third. Maybe I should just do the bunt and do the right thing for the team. But hey, what do we know about baseball? What do you know about baseball? Do you agree with our takes? Have we just, have we really riled you up with what we've said, or do you agree? Let us know down in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. Like we said, it's not about parroting what other people have said. I think we're all in the same boat. We're all equally frustrated and disappointed with the team. There's better ways of doing it, I think, would be my closing statement on that. Let's look forward. Let's do the positives. We've got a 9-game homestand coming up. There are 6 games before we do the pod next week. So we've got 3 games against the Twins and 3 games against the Rockies. What are your thoughts and predictions there?
So firstly, apparently Soto might be back tomorrow.
Okay.
So that could make a difference. I kind of feel like a lot of people are pinning a lot of hope on Soto's return. I think I would hope that it might give the guys a lift in general. I wouldn't like to think that just Soto being out is the reason for the collapse, because that cannot be it. We cannot be that reliant on one player. Having said that, he is our superstar. We need him. I am so excited that he might be back. I'm a little bit anxious that there's been no rehab games. He's coming straight back in. It just shows how much we need him, right? But so hopefully he'll give them a bit of a lift. And what I hope more than anything is that he gives the crowd a lift, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm anxious about how it's going to be tonight, how the atmosphere is going to be. And we spoke about this earlier, right?
Yep.
For me, if I'm going to a ballpark or to a football stadium, as I do frequently, I'm going there because I want to support my team. Yep. Like, if I'm not going to go there and support my team, why am I even going? Just stay home.
Yep.
But we know that that's not necessarily how it always works. So I am a little bit anxious about how it's going to be. I hope that we can get off to a good start. I think McLean being on the bump is going to help. I think because everyone is behind him. He has been one of the few bright sparks. So if they can't get behind him, then we're in real trouble. So if he can hold it down and we can get a little bit of offense going, hopefully that will get the crowd behind them. Now, ordinarily on paper, you would say 3 against the Twins and 3 against the Rockies. Life's going to be good. Now, the Twins are on a losing streak, and that could go well for us, or it could go really badly for us, because they're going to get out of Dodge, come to Citi Field and just be like, freedom, and they'll be targeting us, right? Because they'll know what kind of form we're in. So I think that could be trickier than it seems. I just hope that their confidence is especially low. And then you've got the Rockies. Do you want to guess what the Rockies just did in their last series?
Oh, swept them.
They shared a 4-game series with the Dodgers.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. So they're doing okay. In fairness, before that, I think they won 1 game before they went into that series, but before that they were on a bit of a losing streak. But I mean, they're going to be flying. I think how we do against the Rockies will depend both on how we do against Minnesota and how they do in their series between the Dodgers and us. So I can't even call that one right now. I would like to say optimistically we'll go 3-3, and I actually sat here right now, if we are talking about having gone 3-3 in that stretch, I'm good with that.
Okay.
And Millwall just scored, so I'm not good with that.
I think for me, I'm not so bothered about the results with 140 games still to go.
Exactly.
You know, I'd take 3-3 before a pitch is thrown. Absolutely. I think you're right. You know, it would be foolish to sit here and be like, oh yeah, 4-2, we're going to take both series, and because they've not shown any kind of chance of that happening. I would, and this is where it's going to sound controversial, I would take a 2-4 like losing series over the next 6 games if I could just see some signs of life. Like, you know, like we were talking about other baseball games, and you were talking about how the Angels, like, they threw away a couple of games like right at the end.
Thanks for reminding me.
But frustrating, but at least they were in it right up until the end.
Exactly.
So like, if I see 6 games where we're in it right up until the end, we're playing decent baseball, and there's like signs of life in the bats, and the pitching's not terrible, I will take that because it's another step in the right direction. I think it's too early to be expecting us. I mean, in seasons on past, like the Rockies have been a bit of a joke, and the Twins haven't exactly been tearing it up. In seasons gone by, this would have, like, you'd have looked at this and be like, oh yeah, we can walk this. But I just, where we're at and with the number of changes that have happened, I think, yeah, I just want to see a step in the right direction, even if that means we're on the wrong end of the score lines. I just want to see good Mets baseball. I'd love to be able to finish a game without just being like, do you know what, I can't watch this. I love this. I love this team. I'm not going to go and root for another team. I'm not going to change. That's never going to go away. But they are unwatchable for a full 9 innings at the moment. I just want that to change. And if that changes, do you know what? I'm all good. I'm all good.
Yep. And, you know, we've said it a few times, 140 games left, people.
Yep.
140 games. That is a lot of baseball. And how many times have we had winning streaks? I remember we've had winning streaks of 10 and more games, and everyone's been like, don't get carried away. So why is this any different?
Yep.
Right. There is still, now, you know, if we turn things around and then in 6 weeks' time we have another 11-game losing streak, and then in 6 weeks' time we have another 11-game losing streak, then we might be in a bit of trouble. Right now, we have 140 games to go.
Yep.
And actually, to keep us on a positive note to wrap up.
Yep.
Interestingly, Fangraphs currently still have us projected at a 90-72 record.
I'd take that.
Absolutely. And we have the 3rd best playoff odds in all of MLB still, because we have a team of good players.
Yeah.
If they perform to the levels at which they are expected to do so. Please, boys, please help us out.
You got to believe, right?
You got to believe.
I hate saying it because it's just so cliche at this point, but really, you just so got to believe.
It's so true. And get my guy Ty in the lineup a bit more often, because his bat has been all right to get the year started.
Yeah,
he struggled with his bat last year, and this year he's had a couple of clutch hits. I'm enjoying seeing my guy Ty. So I want to see a bit more of him. Thank you, please.
There we go. So thank you for listening, those of you that have made it this far. We do appreciate the support as always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Share it, tell everyone, so we can bring more amazing content to people across the UK, Europe, and beyond. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments as well. Have we just wasted half an hour of your life? Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? Let us know. We like to hear it anyway. And we'll be back same time next week, all the usual places. And until then, Let's go Mets.
Go Mets.